In this video, I want to show you how to install torch down roofing around a cast iron drain on a flat roof. Let's get into it. A cast iron drain is probably one of the most difficult details on a torch down roof. The primary difficulty about it is you have such a small flange around here, and unfortunately that's how these old cast iron drains are made, that you only have an inch or two to properly overlap your roofing. The second difficulty about it is the cast iron is a thick piece of metal which does not get hot when you're welding, so getting good seam between that cast iron and your torch down is extremely difficult. Now we've come up with a few different techniques that we like to use with our manufacturer rep, and these techniques really provide a solid, seamless, good waterproofing system for our drain. So we want to show you all those little details. Similar to scuppers, you can watch our video on that. Cast iron drains have a lot of water flowing to one area. So even if you have like a small pinhole leak, you can have a large problem. You can have a huge leak because you have a large volume of water draining to one area. So pay special attention to your drains, to those areas on the roof that you have a lot of water draining to, and make sure you do things right. Let's get into it. The first thing we want to do before we get started is make sure we're flush between our cast iron drain and our roofing material. Sometimes there's an offset, sometimes it's sank in, sometimes it's raised up. This demo that we've built actually has a higher lip. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to lip this down and create a ponding area right here. So we just want to put some sacrificial pieces right here, lifting this up so that when we install our final piece of torch, we have positive drainage into the actual cast iron drain. So this part is not too difficult. We're going to be using a self-adhered membrane, and this actually plays a big part in our roofing process. You can use this or smooth roofing material, torch down. We found that it's safer to use self-adhered on the mid plies, so in your mid layers, instead of using a torch, you minimize any risk and any danger by using a self-adhered system, and it's not as critical of an area since it's not the top layer. So we use self-adhered mid-ply, then a torch cap sheet. So what we want to do is, without removing the film, and this is just to raise up this area around the drain, roughly center it, and we're going to push down on these bolts just to pop them out. It's not perfectly square, but it's totally fine. And we're just going to feel out these corners and start cutting them. So one thing I actually want to point out is before we started the video, we actually already installed one layer right here. And you can see the idea is we want to taper them down. We don't want to have all 2 layers or 3 layers start in the same location. We want to have one larger piece right here, and then come down to a smaller piece. And we're going to put a last piece smaller so that we're tapering it down, we're stepping down, so that we'll have a smoother transition. Now the nice thing about this material, it has this film that gets melted off when we're torching our top layer, so that we have a real nice seam when we go down. So we're going to do one more just to get a smoother transition. Alright, now we are nice and level here, so you can see if we install a piece on top, we're going to have a smoother transition. We have 3 layers that we actually installed around this just to build this area up, which gives us a smooth transition. Anytime we're torching or using an asphalt-based material on top of a metal, cast iron, sheet metal, or anything like that, prime it with an asphalt-based primer. What this does is it ensures a better adhesion between the metal and any asphalt, whether it's self-adhered or torch down. There's really not much science behind this. You just want to give it a nice solid coat. Make sure you have full coverage on the entirety of the metal, and you only have to prime the area that you'll be torching. So this is a quick dry material. Within a few minutes we'll be tacky enough, ready to start installing our material down. So when we do our drains, we actually want to install a target piece. What that means is we're not necessarily doing the roofing here along with the rest of the roof. What we like to do and what the manufacturer recommends is installing a target piece, a 3 foot by 3 foot area of roofing, finishing it off, then bringing the new roofing, the rolled roofing, on top of this area. That way when the water drains, it'll drain on top of that target piece that we have, and our drain does not have any seams in it. Because being the most vulnerable area on the roof, you don't want to have a seam right down the middle. You want to make sure that you have one piece of roofing all around. And the only way to ensure that is to install a target piece. So we've got this cut out already. These rolls are 36 inches wide, actually 33, and we're doing a rough square around it. We're gonna start off by roughly aligning this and poking through. Now that we have it centered, we just lift up half of it. Most of these self-adhered membranes have a slit down the middle. So the easiest way to do it is removing half, leaving half on there just so you don't lose your centering. Just want to press that down firmly. You can use a roller or just your hand in a smaller area is totally fine. And do the same thing on the other side. All right, now that we have this done, we're ready to start cutting. We want to start off by cutting a circular hole, substantially smaller than the actual opening itself. We want to leave, if this is the opening, we want to leave 2 to 3 inches here in order for us to be able to start cutting and bending the material down. So regardless of the size of your bowl, you want to find your outer edge, and it's always better to leave more than less because you can always shorten it later. But we want to cut it down to about 1 inch to 1.25 inches. We call these finger cuts, and what this allows us to do is actually bend the membrane inside, and we want to have a minimum of 1 inch past this inner lip right here. And we'll show you how to do that later, but we're going to be bending this down and clamping this down. And just make sure that you're leaving this long enough. So depending on the size of your drain, will determine the size of this hole right here and the length of these pieces over here. You just want to make sure that the back here is anywhere between 1 inch to 3/4 or 1.25 inches, somewhere like that. And we're going to be cutting this all the way around. So once these are all cut, we want to lightly form them with our hands and start pressing these down. You can see how we're going into the drain, and this side should have actually been primed too, so we didn't get enough primer on here as we should have. But anywhere that you're installing a self-adhered or torch, again, if we're going on metal, just remember to prime all these areas. So what we want to do right now is actually install our ring clamp, and this is going to be a temporary installation, and the reason for it is actually helps us mold this base layer and form it down to this groove right here. Having a good bond between our membrane and cast iron is near impossible, so we really want to rely on this mechanical fastening system, clamping it down, creating essentially a little channel here that doesn't allow the water to come back up. We actually want to fasten this evenly on all 3 sides, similar like a tire. Once you get your drain clamped down and nice and tight, you want to wait generally about 5-10 minutes, especially on a hotter day. It'll form nice and fast. You can use this time to get any of the other tasks done on the roof and prep to install the final target patch. But you just want to leave this on here. It's going to help it form and give you a nice tight seal. Now that we've waited a few minutes for our clamp to kind of tighten down that self-adhered mid-ply, we're going to remove it and start installing our last piece of torch. You can see that's given us a nice tight crease right here, created a nice tight seal. And when we install the last layer of torch, we're gonna have the same thing done even better. So we already have our target patch cut out, and similar to the mid-ply, we wanna align this. We wanna have this roughly 3 feet by 3 feet, or 3 feet by 30 inches is fine. Remember, we're gonna bring our field membrane on top of this, and we wanna make sure we have about a 6-inch gap between our drain edge right here and the field membrane that comes on top. So you can do a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, you're totally fine. So what we want to do is we want to align it, center it, and start poking the same bolts through. And now that we have this done, we're going to start torching. The way we are going to start torching is lifting up half, similarly torching this half down. We are not yet going to cut this center hole or do our finger cuts. We're going to burn and adhere the sides, then start working on the middle. And just like anytime we're working on torch, keep safety in mind. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher close by. You want to have it anywhere from 5 to 10 feet away from you so you can quickly access it if needed. Now that we've got the rest of the field of this target patch torched down and installed already, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that we did on our mid-ply. We're going to cut a small circle out from the middle, leaving about 2 inches from the edge of this drain. That's going to allow us to cut those fingers out and bend them in. And ideally, we want to get those opposite or kind of staggered from our mid-ply so that we're kind of interlocking those, and we'll see how that works right now. Again, the size of this hole is really going to be determined by the opening of your drain. So a larger drain is going to require a larger hole, whereas a smaller drain will require a smaller cut. So once we have this cut out, we're going to start by cutting the 3 angles at the bolts, then start cutting those at, again, about 1 inch to 1.25 inch widths, which is going to allow us to fold these down. All right, now that we've got our hole cut out and our finger joints cut as well, we're ready to start actually torching these down and adhering these one by one. Again, we want to stagger these as much as possible, so that's when you're cutting, you want to make sure that they're offset. So if your mid-ply is this, you want to make sure your cap sheet is this so that you have good coverage. One thing that we like to use in these small areas is a plumber's torch. This really helps in making it easy and controllable flame for us to work in these tight and confined areas instead of using a big open flame. This is a lot easier, safer, and allows us to do controlled work. So we're going to start slowly, one by one, torching these down. All right, now that we've got all these individual tabs torched down, what we want to do is, we're getting close to the end, is just clamp this down again while it's still hot. It's important to do this while it's still hot in order to be able to get a nice form on these and really mold that into the cast iron shape. This is something that we actually used to not do right away. We used to do this at the end of the job, but we recently learned the importance of doing this right away so that while the membrane is still hot, we're able to get a nice form on that. Again, you want to make sure to tighten these evenly without tightening one side too much. Once you have this tight, you want to have it sit for at least 5-10 minutes, if not more. Really just let it sit for as long as you can until the membrane cools. That way it'll really hold that form and keep that shape after it's done cool enough. The last step, or second to last step, is removing this ring and putting a coat of sealant all around it. We already waited at 5-10 minutes, let it cool down, remove it, and get ready to finish this off. Anytime you're on a roof, make sure you don't lose these bolts because they're going to be difficult to find later. So what we're going to be doing is applying a coat of Polyflash 1C. Now we like to use this because we are using polyglass system, and this is a sealer of choice for us. You can use any other type of white mastic. However, this is what we prefer and really recommend. We've had great success with it. The way we like to apply it is using either a 2 or 3 inch. There's one of these cheaper brushes from Home Depot or your local hardware store will work. You want to put a solid coat, but be careful from over applying it. You definitely don't want to put it on too thick, and make sure you don't get it on these bolts themselves. You also want to make sure that you are applying it here on the inside, on each one of these notches and grooves. Now that we've applied the final coat of Polyflash 1C around this drain, we want to wait for that to fully dry and cure before we install our ring clamp on and call it a day. Now that we've got our sealant applied, it's nice and dry, we're ready to install the clamp. Similarly to the rest of the times we install it, we want to make sure that the drain clamp is installed evenly, that all 3 bolts are tightened uniformly. You want to get nice tight pressure on there, as this drain clamp is going to help keep that membrane nice and tight and stuck to the roof. So you do want to make sure it's tight. Install this drainer cap and we're good to go. This drain is going to be nice and waterproof for years to come. Guys, thanks for watching. We have a lot of other videos on this channel about torch down roofing. If there's anything that you like to do different, let us know below. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.